Koei Tecmo just had its Tokyo Game Show presentation for Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, and there was a lot shown off, including 13 minutes of gameplay. It'll take us a bit to get a full analysis on it all, especially when there's even more new info coming tomorrow. So, in that case, we've put together a list of 11 notable points from the Tokyo Game Show gameplay. Some of these are bigger and exciting, while others are small details you might have missed that quickly stood out to us. Without further ado, let's jump right in with the first detail. New information on Link, Zelda, and Impa's movesets. The majority of the gameplay focused on Link, so let's start there. Aside from quick sword slashes, we can see that shield surfing is part of Link's core moveset. He can dash through enemies at a surprising speed. We can also see him launch enemies into the air, and then fire a ton of arrows in bullet time, or perhaps arrow time. Thankfully, Link doesn't have to keep track of his arrow count. Link wasn't the only character shown off in gameplay, because we were given our first look at young Impa as well. She looks very similar to her future granddaughter, Paya. It almost mirrors the original Hyrule Warriors, with Link simply as a soldier, and Impa being the first two playable characters. Taking a quick look at Impa's moveset, we can see a nice blend of three things. Sheik's ninja-like movements from the original Hyrule Warriors, Sheikah magic and attack styles similar to Monk Maz Koshia from Breath of the Wild's Champions Ballad DLC, and the Yiga clan, who use Sheikah techniques anyway. She mainly strikes using a shinobi katana, basically a short sword for a ninja. We can also see her toss kunai, use various seals, use a glider, and summon copies of herself. Impa seems to be focused on very quick gameplay, and we'll have a more in-depth look at her moveset in our upcoming analysis. This gameplay actually taught us one other thing about character movesets. We don't actually know much about Zelda's moveset. The original trailer and screenshots depicted her using the Sheikah Slate, but as we know now from the gameplay, other characters can also use these Sheikah Slate runes. We can see Link launch himself into the air using Cryonis, for example. Perhaps Zelda simply has a much more fleshed out moveset utilizing the Slate, but we can't say for sure right now. When we finally get a look at Impa, she's fighting a Fire Wizrobe. Once she beats it, however, we can see that she picks up its Fire Rod. We can't say for sure just how it affects gameplay, but a special thanks goes to PushDustin for translating this UI prompt that appears. Pressing L and Y is how you can use the newly obtained Fire Rod. That's all we know about it, unfortunately, as we don't see it in use. Perhaps it functions like an item. We get a nice introduction to the little egg-shaped guardian, but unfortunately, we still don't really know what it does. After it activates when the Sheikah Slate turns on and the Sheikah Tower raises, it simply follows Link around for the rest of the battle, beeping and chirping happily, like a faster and cuter R2-D2. Yeah, we said it. It doesn't seem to attack anything, nor speak for Link, as many have speculated before. Despite seeing it in-game for the first time, we still don't really know anything about it. Majority of the enemies seen in this gameplay are standard red bokoblins, and we can see from the get-go that they are just as animated as they are in Breath of the Wild. This is definitely a step up from the original Hyrule Warriors. Like before, these standard enemies have both melee and ranged forms. What's interesting though are the keep bosses. These bokoblins are much larger and radiate malice. Additionally, they have a variety of weapons. While some are simply larger bokoblins wielding clubs, we can see this other one wielding a large stick like a spear. It's nice to see that the enemies may have more to them than they did in the original Hyrule Warriors. Monster parts and ingredients are back. While the original Hyrule Warriors featured material drops from enemies, which were used when crafting badges, Age of Calamity takes it further. Like in Breath of the Wild, you can collect various materials on your adventure. We can see Link pick up some monster parts, meat, herbs, mushrooms, and even another weapon. With all these materials, there's very likely some sort of cooking or crafting mechanic outside of battle, but we can't say for sure what it will be used for. Maybe adding additional temporary hearts or other stat boosts. We can also see that these material drops aren't only obtained in pouches when defeating enemies, but also in treasure chests. Breath of the Wild had a massive map, filled with ruins and remnants of a Hyrule that once flourished. We can actually pinpoint some specific locations seen in this Age of Calamity gameplay. The most obvious start is the Central Tower, rising out of Hyrule Garrison, or at least an unnamed village near the Hyrule Garrison. When Link is fighting down on the southern end of the map, it's hard to say exactly where on the map this is, but given the town, it could be the Exchange or even the Gatepost town. Finally, when Impa fights the Fire Wizrobe, we can see Mabe Village a little ahead of her. While Impa fights the Fire Wizrobe, we can see the player zooms in on the map. While this was a feature in the original Hyrule Warriors by pressing the minus button, it's certainly a welcome addition with just how large these maps are in Age of Calamity. We can see that King Rome talks during battle. This may seem like a really small nothing point, but it adds to the theory that he might be a playable character. Not many NPCs get unique portraits like this in Hyrule Warriors, and if he's talking, that means he's likely somewhere on the battlefield. Now, he could simply be issuing orders to the troops from the castle, so this doesn't actually confirm anything. Still, it's nice to see. One detail you might have missed was this soldier being attacked by a bokoblin. It's not as simple as being hit and disappearing though. We can see the soldier is knocked to the ground before he tries backing away, cowering in fear of his enemy. Man, this game is brutal. The attention to detail is great, and a strong step up from the rather lifeless NPC soldiers of the previous game. When Link takes out the bokoblin to avenge the fallen soldier, we can see that he actually cuts down the nearby tree as well. Considering that took multiple swings in Breath of the Wild, it must have been quite the hefty slash. When the tree falls, it doesn't disappear right away. Perhaps it can hurt enemies if it falls on them, or block their path. It's hard to say, but it's exciting to see elements of a destructible environment. We had a small look at that in the original trailer, with the bokoblin encampment collapsing after an explosion. Similarly, in this gameplay, we can also see Link blow up one of the large skull rocks that enemies camp in. For our final point in this video, it's actually a bonus. There's 8 confirmed playable characters so far. Link, Zelda, Mipha, Daruk, Rivali, Urbosa, and now Impa. Now, before you try and say, but Gabe explained, that's only 7 characters. It was confirmed at the end of the Tokyo Game Show presentation that tomorrow's presentation at Famitsu will also debut a brand new character. So, there you have it, 8 characters so far. With that, that's all the details we were able to quickly list out from the new Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity presentation at Tokyo Game Show. What did you guys think of the presentation and our first look at the gameplay? Are you just as excited for Impa as the rest of us are? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe to Game Explained for more on Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, including our upcoming in-depth analysis of this gameplay and the new trailer, and other things gaming as well. Until next time, bye!